Hello and welcome back to the Brompton Guy. In today's episode we discuss what could be Brompton's biggest innovation for years. That being Brompton's ambition to build a carbon neutral headquarters situated within an unused wetlands area in Kent. This will predominantly be accessed by an elevated and dedicated cycling ramp, both for bike users and pedestrians. Not only that, but this expansion will see Brompton aim to produce a whopping 200,000 bikes per year and being envisioned by Brompton as the factory of the future. Sounds amazing, right? Well, not everyone agrees. The project is still awaiting planning permission and is now on its fourth delay. The sticking point? National highways. Can Brompton push this project over the line? Well, best discuss the situation, I suppose, so let's cue the intro.
He's the Brompton Guy!
Brompton Ashford Park. I have to start by saying that from the concept artwork, it looks amazing. Well, all concepts do, but I think it looks great, and if all goes to plan, I'll for sure be one of the first to visit the place. Currently planned for 2027 completion, which is looking less and less likely due to experiencing more delays from national highways. The planning was officially submitted in December 2022, but has now been held back 4 times due to National Highway. But before we deep dive into the delays, let's talk about the project. Brompton have partnered with Holloway Studio Design on the project, and as you can imagine, sustainability is the driving force and the heart of this design. They plan on optimising natural daylight, harnessing solar and wind energy while drawing heat from the ground through its foundations stilts. They also want access to be limited to an elevated cycle/walking ramp. They've proposed 30 disabled parking bays and an area for large lorries to deliver goods. As we all know, that's fairly essential. Will Butler Adam quotes, "There has been global realisation post-pandemic that we need to change how we live in our cities, to design them around the people that live in them and not the automobile." Inside this building, Brompton plan on including a Brompton Museum, event space, rooftop cafes with terrace, as well as the offices and production facilities to house around 4,000 staff that can hopefully turn over the whopping 200,000 bikes a year. Quite the achievement. So everyone's question, right? Why the hold up and why do national highways have such issues with the build and maybe even the idea of active travel? As you can imagine, these things are never clear cut, and yes, while the concept of having no cars and promoting active transport is great, we all have those moments where the weather is awful, feeling ill, and maybe just wanting to sit in a car and reflect a little on life without the physical exhaustion of cycling. So yes, I myself would like to drive in occasionally. Even so, if I worked there more than 40 odd hours a week, that's quite the ask. And there lies the major sticking point. Brompton are asking for permission to build a factory that will at some point host up to 4,000 workers, but not offer any additional infrastructure in terms of parking for employees. So National Highway are obviously pushing back with the concerns on the impact to the current local road network, and to also be respectful of those that have no choice but to drive. As someone who will certainly visit the factory, I'm happy to cycle and take it all in whilst thinking about how wonderful and clean the area I am in is. But reality is staff are going to need somewhere designated to park, not the full 4,000 spots, but safely half of that in my opinion. It's currently being said that National Highways have recommended the application not to be accepted until Brompton can address the concerns they have outlined. In fact, the Regional Director of National Highway comments, "We will be concerned with the proposal that has the potential to impact on the safe and efficiency operation of the strategic road network. In this case, particularly within the vicinity of the M20 and A2070 near Ashford. In carrying out our assessment, we are mindful of the highly initiative and sustainability seeking nature of the proposed development and the response to date by the Kent County Council on matters such as on-site and off-site parking." Meanwhile, it appears Brompton are currently looking into solutions for this, looking to see if they can strike a deal with some multi-storey car parks in the area already, such as the Ashford International Car Park, which has been apparently sat empty for years and is only a 19-minute walk away from the factory site. That does seem like a pretty good middle ground. It's not perfect, but probably a good start. However, reports suggest that this deal has been made in principle, but National Highways don't appear satisfied with that as the outcome, saying it feels more information is needed on how the factory will impact the road network before it can be approved. For me, this project is going to be an interesting project to follow going forward. Will Brompton be forced to cave and install parking at its factory? Or will the council grant planning permission without the blessing of National Highways? What's your thoughts to the parking situation? Can you see both sides of the argument? Or do we just need to adapt, and this is one of the first major steps in the right direction? I'll be monitoring the progress, bringing you smaller updates as they are published, and with that, we can conclude this episode. I hope you've learned something useful or new, and as always, here on The Brompton Guy, if you've enjoyed the content, please drop a like, and if you find yourself coming back to this channel for more videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button, because it certainly helps the channel grow and gets us to a larger audience. Thank you so much for your attention on this video, and enjoy your night.
He's the Brompton